Hi everyone, welcome back to another one of our daily devotional videos. Today I want to speak to you and encourage you really to set your mind on things that are above. It's so difficult in this season with 24-hour news and stuff like that to not get overwhelmed and bombarded really with everything that's happening in the world right now. And we want to have our eyes open. We want to be aware of what's happening in our world because we've been called to love it, to change it, to advance God's kingdom within it. And yet it can be so overwhelming, so overwhelming, especially as this is affecting all of us in such different ways. Maybe you're a mum at home trying to cope with kids and home learning and stuff like that. Maybe you're trying to work from home and it's just quite overwhelming and it's a different environment. I don't know about you, but time seems to work differently with these social distancing measures in place. It's really strange. Or maybe you're a key worker. Maybe you work for the NHS or you work for a supermarket or you're in social care or something like that. And actually life is just manic and everything's a bit scary. It can be so easy to become overwhelmed with what's going on in our world that we can miss out on the bigger picture that actually spiritual realities are taking place. We believe in two different realms. Now we've got the natural realm, which we can see, we can touch, we can taste, our senses learn to trust. And then there's the spiritual realm. There's the unseen, which the Bible talks about so much. And it's so key for us to have the full picture when we're considering what's going on in our world right now. I want to share a little story from the Old Testament. This is from 2 Kings in chapter 6. We have the prophet Elisha, and he's managed to upset a king and rile a king up basically because he keeps prophesying what this enemy king will do to the people of Israel. And the king's getting more and more riled up because none of his plans are working, because Elisha keeps warning the people to exact detail where he might be attacking or where he might be camping. And this king gets really upset and he basically says to his men, go and capture Elisha. I want this guy taken out. I want him taken down. And so he sends chariots and horses and an army basically to surround the city where Elisha is hiding. We'll pick up the story there because one of his servants wakes up. And so this is 2 Kings chapter 6 from verse 15. He says, when the servant of the man of God, that's Elisha, rose early in the morning and went out, behold, an army with horses and chariots was all around the city. And the servant said, alas, my master, what shall we do? He said, do not be afraid, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Then Elisha prayed and said, O Lord, please open his eyes that he may see. So the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. I love this story because it reminds me that there's always more going on than my physical eyes can see. There's always more taking place. There is always more happening in the spiritual realm. There is a God, a good God who is doing good to his people all the time, working through difficulty and trial and all those sorts of things, and some things that don't make sense to us, but actually God is still using them to bring about his purposes on the earth. And I think we're experiencing that right now in this day. We're seeing great challenge and hardship, but it's so easy to see God is working. He's restoring things to our society, to our thinking, to our hearts. Priorities are getting realigned again. And it's so good. In Colossians, Paul encourages us. He says, if then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. For you've died and your life is hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. Today, let's not be those who become overwhelmed with what's happening in the world, but those who are setting our minds on the things that are above. It will do you good to set your mind on Christ, on his kingship, on the fact that he's sat on his throne right now and there is perfect peace in heaven. Whatever your circumstances today, whether your house is crazy full of children, maybe you're on your own and you're feeling lonely, maybe you're going out to work, maybe you're going off to hospital, maybe you're going to the supermarket, It's good for all of us to set our minds on the things that are above. Think about the victory of God today. Just find a moment, whatever you need to do, go and find a room, close the door behind you, take a breath, and set your mind on the things that are above, and you will start to see some of the spiritual realities that are taking place. Remember that God is good, He is for you, that He loves you. Drink that in and let that shape your thinking as you cope with the world around you today. God bless you. We'll see you again soon.